Katamari Damacy is a 3D puzzle game that combines the task of rolling a ball of items called Katamari with the idea of recreating the solar system after the king of all cosmos has destroyed it on accident. You control a small prince who follows the king's instructions by rolling up specific Katamaris based on size or content, depending on the level. You're placed in various stages, from homes and rooms to islands, with each level having a common theme: perspective. The Katamaris themselves are sent into space by the king, replacing constellations and objects such as the moon, Ursa Major, and 9 assorted stars. Katamari Damacy was originally created by Keita Takahashi, the game artist at Namco. He wanted to create a game that both allowed for a change in perspective while keeping the ideas of novelty, ease of understanding, enjoyment, and humor close. This led to Takahashi developing a prototype with students from the Digital Hollywood Game Laboratory and a few Namco game development engineers. Eventually, the prototype was approved by Namco, which started production of the game for PlayStation 2 in 2001. Katamari Damacy was given an overall budget of 100 million Japanese yen, which was around 1/10 of the funding for a game like Soul Calibur. Despite its small budget, Katamari was released with a soundtrack composed and played by its own orchestra. Released on March 18, 2004 in Japan, the game found some success, selling 32,000 units in the first week of its release. Soon after the initial release, it was released in North America on September 21, 2004, where it received a large amount of support, with Time magazine even citing it as the most unusual and original game to hit the PlayStation 2. This praise even led to Katamari Damacy winning a Good Design Award in Japan in 2004 and an award for excellence in game design in the US in 2005. This success has led to the creation of other games in the series, such as a sequel, Wheel of Katamari in 2005, Beautiful Katamari in 2007, Katamari Forever in 2009, and more recently, Katamari Damacy Reroll, a complete remaster of the original, released in 2018. The success of the initial game stems from the creative and innovative gameplay, with the controls favoring the use of joysticks to pilot the prince and his Katamari. These controls led to another level of immersion with the Katamari universe, giving the player a greater sense of control and precision compared to the traditional button-heavy input style. This game simply wouldn't work with buttons. It doesn't offer a unique enough experience or enough control over the character that really defines this game. Another substantial aspect of the success of Katamari is due to its unique idea and overall creativity. There isn't any other game like this that had been released before. The game itself is incredibly aesthetically sound. Nothing feels out of place or too wacky in this colorful, fun, and remarkable world. One important thing to note is that almost everything in each level or world is interactive, whether it be a bug running on the floor or someone's entire apartment building that can be picked up and rolled over. This just gives such a great view of the attention to detail put into this game. A lot of creativity and effort was put into this game to create an experience and an environment that was unparalleled at the time. And the creativity put into the game is not just specific to its world design either. The music and soundtrack are beautiful, playful, and eccentric, which along with the levels themselves create an environment that works to put a big smile on your face. When I first played this game, it made me feel like a kid again, and the completely unrealistic setting gives you a sense of both childlike innocence, fun, and a nostalgic feel, even if you hadn't played the game before. And there were a few criticisms when this game came out. One was that the game was too quick, which I agree with. The fastest any percent speedrun is about 29 minutes, but for the casual player this game only takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Another qualm that users have about the game is the lack of replayability, which is completely valid, as even in the first playthrough, some worlds are repeated, but with different goals. I think that many of the issues are definitely due to the production window. It didn't have that big of a budget or time frame. Again, it only received around 100 million yen, with a year and a half of total development, a lot less than Namco's larger products. These issues were eventually sorted out later in the series with the sequel, adding more levels, more replayability, and overall the series improved. This leads me to one question. Why is this game so unknown, or at least not recognized? And my answer to that is that it's very niche. This game doesn't really cater towards Western audiences. You can tell that a lot of the influence from the game has been from Japanese, Asian cultures, and like a lot of the worlds in the game are based around things you would find in a normal Japanese household. And this makes plenty of sense. The artist who designed the game was Japanese, and the company was a Japanese game design company. But this leads to a small issue. The game isn't marketed towards international sales. Which leads me to another point about why this game wasn't as successful as it could have been. It fell down in the advertising department. There was little to no marketing for this game, other than the reviews that it had or small game magazines. It didn't reach a wide enough audience for it to be popular, and I think that Namco didn't really care about the success of this game, or at least they didn't want it to sell as well as their flagship games. And as much as I like to be critical about this game, I adore it. I think that though it has issues, there would have been no other way to make a game like this in the same situation that it was in. And I think that it leads me to one of my favorite qualities about the game. It's honest. And that Katamari is whole. It doesn't try to be something else. It knows exactly what it is, and it does that almost flawlessly. And I think that it is a great jumping off point. I think that as an idea, it's just so creative and raw and pure that changed a lot of the game market, or at least it inspired a lot of game developers to be more creative and sort of break the mold by just doing what they wanted to do and keeping it fun and light and making something ultimately that's closer to their artistic vision than what is asked of them. This brings me to my last point. Katamari is a humble game. It never really needed to sell well to be a good game. Everything works well. Everything is just very polished as well. It doesn't have a whole lot of flaws other than small production things like the budget or the time that it took to produce the game. With that said, I would greatly recommend that you check out Katamari Damacy or the remastered version, which came out last year, available on PC or the Switch. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions. And don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you.